Hello everyone, I'm Try to Thrive, and well, I'm going to be doing a bit of a follow-up video to my previous one. So my previous video was a top 5 animals you shouldn't expect at launch, and well, the video definitely has some difference of opinions, and I fully respect them all. My opinion really hasn't changed, and we'll just have to wait and find out if that's correct. Definitely go give the video a try, and let me know your opinion as well. But now it's time to follow it up with a video, way more positive one, hopefully less controversial. A video where we will be going on about the 5 animals that everyone should expect to see at launch. These are just my personal opinion. The 5 are really the ones that I find the most exciting. And of course, everyone has their own opinions, and I'd love to hear what you have to say as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and begin and look at the 5 animals that all should be making it into Planet Zoo. Oh, and also note that these animals all have evidence to back them up. So, now we've got that across the way, let's begin. Number 5, the Jaguar. Okay, so this is an animal that everyone would basically want in Planet Zoo, as it is an essential staple animal. Top predator of South America, beautiful cat that commonly gets mistaken as a leopard, but it's actually not. This animal was a for sure, even before we had the evidence to prove it. And now we have some pretty good, solid evidence, and thus, everyone should definitely expect this animal. But what is this evidence? Well, the first thing, it was data mined through the files. That right there is a massive hint. And then after you get past that, an even bigger, solid piece of evidence to confirm the Jaguar as well, in the beta itself, in the building UI, you can actually find a full Jaguar head decoration. Like, it's all detailed and everything, like, of the actual model in the game. I mean, how much more proof do you need? We literally had the head of the animal in the beta, or we did, and before the beta left us for good. Still, it's perfect, solid evidence to confirm that this animal will be in the game, and is certainly one that I and everyone else will probably be very happy to have in our zoos, and thus you should expect it at launch. Number 4, the American Alligator. Okay, so there is a lot of solid evidence providing confirmation for this animal. The first things first are the articles. Now, during Gamescom, there was an IGN article that came out that mentions alligators. And some people posed up the idea that maybe they just mistake it for the saltwater crocodile. Well, actually, they also mentioned the saltwater crocodile previously in the same article, so it's clear that they didn't mess it up, and that's like the first time we heard about alligators. And then, article-wise, when the beta was out, we got another article that I will come back to later when we hit the honorable mentions, but this article, once again, mentions alligators. Along with this, we also have data mined it. We found all the animations, we found the fact that it is an American and not a Chinese. I mean, come on, was it that obvious? If we're going to get American alligators, sorry, who's going to win, America or Chinese? Sorry, anyway, it was obviously, so it was found in the files, and to top it all off, in the beta there was an alligator decoration. I don't know if other people saw it, but I certainly saw it. I looked up alligator, and there's literally a statue of, because alligators are one of the best walking crocodilians, and you could actually see like a statue of it walking around. It was super cool, and all of that together, so much evidence. It literally, this animal probably has the most evidence out of all the animals on this list. Everyone should 100% expect the American alligator at launch, and gosh, can I not wait to make an Alligator Wetlands exhibit. Oh, it's going to be incredible. For someone who lives around alligators, I live in Florida, just in case you didn't know, but I love them, I really do. They're such a beautiful crocodilian, and I'll definitely get some inspiration from the Houston Zoo. Anyway, let's move on. Number 3, the Flamingo. And, well, all the evidence that does back up this animal, unfortunately, don't exactly specify what type of flamingo it is, but we can almost certainly assume it is the greater, as it's basically the most common type flamingo. Now, next thing I want to say is that this animal, unfortunately, unlike the other animals on this list, does not have as much evidence to back it up. And you know what, that's okay, because this animal is definitely a given animal. I mean, how could they possibly go without this? But anyway, some of the evidence is the data mining. So this, obviously this animal was first found in data mining, and then also later the animations of it were found in the files, which actually you know, or even push it a little bit farther. One of my favorite animations was the squirt poop animation, because that's how flamingos poop. And well, with that being found in the entire rest of animation, I fully expect a flamingo at launch, and everyone else should as well, as it's just an animal they can't go without. So yeah, flamingos, hopefully we'll be seeing soon. Number 2, the Japanese macaque. Okay, so this animal actually has some pretty odd evidence to back it up. First off, I just want to say the Japanese macaque is a very cool monkey. Look it up if you get the chance, if you don't know what it is. Basically, it's a monkey that lives in the mountains of Japan. I don't know what mountains they were exactly. Either way, there's geysers up there, and well, they're famous for chilling in the geysers. That's the monkeys I'm talking about. You've probably heard of them, and you just hopefully I refreshed your memory. But they do appear in zoos sometimes, and there's a lot of evidence to back this one up. The only reason why this one's so high on the list is because I love Japanese macaques, and I would love to build a mountainous geyser snowy exhibit. Oh, it's gonna be awesome when I have the time and money and etc. with Sandbox mode. Still, so what is the proof? Well, now this is pretty much considered offensive. Is it offensive? I don't know. During the beta, now I don't know who, and I do have proof for this because I had the actual screenshots I found. Someone, I don't know how they did it, broke into Sandbox mode, kind of defied Frontier's choices to not let us play in Sandbox mode, and found the entire East Asian theme, which was awesome, while also technically being wrong at the same time. Either way, there are a lot of Japanese macaque decorations found with this, and from statues to posters, it's very obvious. And along with this, the animals found in the files and all its animation. So there we have it. Animation, itself, all found in the files, along with someone breaking into Sandbox mode and taking a look at the East Asian theme and all of the Japanese macaque and other animals, etc. decorations. Like, for example, you see the pandas and the Chinese pangolins, the red pandas. We'll talk about those in a little bit. Still, yeah, Japanese macaques, I really do expect them, and I think it would be incredible to have that. I think it's a very awesome decision for Frontier to choose this monkey as one of the first monkeys to have in the game at launch. Very excited about it. And now we move on to honorable mentions. Alright, honorable mentions. Let's not waste any time and dive right into it. The first honorable mention, and this kind of tags back in with that second article mentioning alligators. That same article, which came out during the beta, revealed 2 other animals that are on this honorable mentions list. The first one, and definitely the more specific one, is the dik-dik. So dik-dik is a little antelope from Africa, and it was full-on specifically mentioned. Like, it didn't just say, hey, we're playing with these small African ungulates, you know. They literally said dik-dik, which means, what else could it possibly mean? It definitely seems like a given now, and I am not going to be surprised if this one makes it in it, and I think a lot of people should expect to see it. Unfortunately, though, I do kind of feel like it's a pretty unnecessary animal. And it may just be another animal taking away, for example, the giant otter. Maybe that's an animal that they wanted to work on, or they had the dik-dik and went back with Africa, because it is just another African animal. Also, I would have preferred the klipspringer, because it's a little bit more popular, and I love klipspringers. Either way, dik-diks are definitely a very likely animal to make it in, and yeah, dik-diks. Anyway, so next animal, also on this from the same article, we have an unspecified baboon. Now, there are 2 baboons that really pose options: the olive and the hamadryas. And personally, I really want the hamadryas baboon. Oh my gosh, look up a picture of these guys. They are so daft. They have such dope, daft look. I love it. They look like freaking. I don't know why. The first time I saw the male, my first initial thought was presidents. Like literally our first presidents. They had that crazy hairdo that matches those old presidents. And so if we got the Hamadryas baboon, and it definitely seems like we're going to be getting a baboon, because what else could this be? It's not talking about the mandrill, and a baboon definitely seems kind of like an animal Frontier would include at this point, you know. I'm not surprised that they've gone this way as well, and Hamadryas is just the one I'm keeping my fingers crossed for. And yeah. Alright, before we reach, the last two are also kind of a combo animal mentioned, but the one in between is a little more special, and that is the Nile Crocodile. This animal actually does have some pretty interesting evidence to it. Now, last I checked, I do believe this animal was data mined. I could be wrong about that. I do not remember for sure. If so, I definitely know it. I mean, I've looked through the files a lot, and I just forgot if we looked at it, or if we found it, but there was definitely no animation sound for it. But the bigger proof is, in the beta, there is a Nile Crocodile pox, I think it was. There was an actual Nile Crocodile specific disease in the beta. And so, and this disease is literally just for the Nile Crocodile. And so we have that. Doesn't it make sense for us to have the Nile Crocodile? This animal definitely seems kind of like another given animal that Frontier would definitely not go without noticing and perhaps including. I think there's a very good chance of the Nile Crocodile making it in at launch. And yeah, so finally move on to the last two, the giant panda and the Chinese pangolin. So going back to that Sandbox raid, there were Chinese pangolin and giant panda decorations, more of it. Now the giant panda itself has so much evidence, just like the American alligator. There are decorations of it. It was found in the files. The animations were found of it. And now with the Sandbox raid, there is so much evidence for the giant panda making it into Planet Zoo. It was also obviously an animal they cannot possibly go without, especially without all the controversies, you know. People love pandas a little too much, and that's also another reason why I've kind of put it down into the honorable mentions instead of putting it on my main list, despite all the evidence. There's just, I mean, when it comes to discussion about animals, don't pandas always kind of make it in? So I'm just pushing it back to honorable mentions, not saying I don't love pandas, because I certainly do, but a panda is an animal I and everyone else should 100% expect to see at launch. And the other one, the Chinese pangolin, is a bit more tricky. There is actual other evidence for this one, other than just the Sandbox raid. There was an unspecified pangolin found through data mining, and along with all of that, well, what else could it be with this Asian theme to it? It really does appear to be the Chinese specific, which I would honestly prefer. I think that's kind of cool, other than Africa, because haven't we got enough African animals? The audacity of Frontier to include pangolins in the game, which, like I said, is definitely a given now, is incredible, because pangolins are just kind of a pretty important conservation animal today, and people love them. How could we go without pangolins? I'm really happy that they're going to be in the game, and I cannot wait to build an incredible, adorable pangolin exhibit. Alright, we have finally made it to number 1. Now this animal, the reason why it's at number 1 is because it was one of the most relieving animals to have some pretty solid evidence to, and I am talking about the American Bison. Okay, I really don't even have to explain this one. This one's pretty popular when the beta came out because there were a lot of decorations of it in the beta and like New World theme last I checked. So there we go, decoration. That's basically one of the biggest confirmations. But also we found all the animation sets in the files and the animal itself. All of that definitely, for me, confirms the American Bison. It should with everyone else. It's an animal that I'm very happy to have because I love the American Bison. They are a very intimidating animal. I was at one point 10 feet away from one in Yellowstone National Park, and very impressive. And with that and the pronghorn antelope, they would make a truly beautiful combo exhibit. And thus, it is. I just really wanted this. That's why I'm saying it's relieving. But yeah, the American Bison is definitely an animal we should all expect at launch. So that last one was kind of quick, but yeah, that's it, guys. That is my list. Hopefully not as controversial as my previous list. I'm very happy with Frontier's choices so far, with some exceptions, you know, Australia, not to name a few, but I'm very much indeed looking forward to this game. And when the game first comes out, my first thing I'm going to do is actually do videos about the roster. The very first thing, very first Planet Zoo video you should expect is me looking at all the mammals in the game, and then eventually we'll do a video looking at all the birds, all the free-roaming reptiles, and then all the vivarium animals, and I'm going to do a final roster review and give my overall opinion. Was this list healthy? So far it looks like it is pretty darn healthy. But yes, tomorrow is also a pretty exciting day, I think. Tomorrow is the EGX. The time you're watching this, it's probably already over, but from my time of making this video, the EGX is out tomorrow, and I'm very much indeed looking forward to it, as it's pretty obvious we'll be seeing some brand new things. I think it'll be like one of the big last hoorahs, and I will definitely be doing some content on it. So, other than that though, please, everyone, remember to hit the like button and subscribe. Let me know your opinions. I really want to hear everyone's opinion. What's some animals that you expect to see in the game and are very happy for and looking forward to? But other than that though, have a terrific day.